Welcome to Rockline 2, exclusively on Lincoln's Classic Rock, 92.9 The Eagle.
The world.
AM/FM radio networks present North America's #1 rock radio program.
Rockline. Rockline. Rockline is brought to you by the United States Army. Be all you can be. Tonight, live from Las Vegas, Rockline brings you a very special evening of music and your phone calls for all 4 members of KISS. To speak with KISS, call the toll-free Rockline at 1-800-344-ROCK. That's 1-800-344-7625. And now, a man who looks better in makeup, Mr. Bob Coburn.
Good evening and welcome to Rockline. Nice to have you aboard tonight. You know, in the long history of Rockline, no band has ever been mentioned more than KISS by our listeners, by our many guest musicians, or by the Rockline staff, for that matter.
Or by us.
Or even by KISS.
Even by us.
Funny how that works out, you know. And I mean no band, not the Beatles, the Stones, or anyone. And truly, KISS does rule. Hardly a show goes by without KISS being mentioned on Rockline. And tonight, it's the real deal. You wanted the best, you got the best. The hottest band in the world. As Rockline welcomes Gene Simmons. Nice to see you this evening.
You're a powerful and attractive man.
Thank you so much. We'll talk after the show. Peter Criss, welcome to Rockline.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
And Paul Stanley, good to see you again.
Good to see you again.
Ace had planned on making it. He could not tonight.
Ace made it to the elevator, but then we lost him. So.
He's still looking for
but
it.
The show must go on.
Well, we can say this. You'd be very proud of
him. We're in Las Vegas. I saw him at floor there somewhere.
So dressed as Elvis Presley.
He likes to do that when we come here. It's an Ace sighting.
That's right.
Yes.
That's to put his face on Elvis's body.
Now, oh, it's going to be one of those evenings. Good. I'm ready for this. Now, why are you guys calling it quits?
You know, it's funny. Better to have people asking us why we're stopping than to ask us why we don't stop.
Get out.
You know,
yeah.
So it's really,
why won't you leave?
Get out of here. It's really a matter of it's better to leave early than stay too late. You know, we're still kicking major. Do we say ass on
this?
Yeah,
you can say ass.
We're still kicking major ass, America. And we figured as long as we were doing great shows and everything was the way KISS has always intended it to be, it's really the time to stop. You know, when we did the reunion tour in 96, 97, we basically accomplished the impossible. We got back together with the original lineup and became the #1 grossing band in America. That's kind of like regaining the heavyweight championship after 17 years of not, you know, being in the ring. And after that, you know, we felt pretty full of ourselves. And after that, we said, let's go into the studio and do an album, which was the next step for us, a studio album. And then the Psycho Circus tour was huge. And after that, we really figured it was time to call it quits. Not because we couldn't do it anymore, but because we really accomplished everything we set out to do and wanted to go out on top. We like being on top. Sometimes we like being on the bottom, but most of the time we like being on top.
Missionaries, okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's basically what happened is we thought, let's call it quits. But then, you know, sometimes when somebody either dies or goes away and you don't get a chance to say goodbye, you know, you really feel like it's not complete. There's not closure. So we figured, let's go out one last time, really blow it out and do the kind of show people always expect from the band, and not only celebrate the songs that we did on the reunion tour that were from the original lineup, but to really celebrate the history of the band, because we're in a unique position. We were together for about 9 or 10 years, and after that, when the original lineup split up, we sold 15 million albums afterwards, but we've ignored that whole period of the band. So with this, we're really bringing it all full circle, and we're doing an awesome show, and the shows are selling out so quickly, we don't really know what to do.
We'll mention dates of the show as the evening progresses. So, Peter, is this really it? Is this really the swan song?
This is probably as real as a heart attack. I mean, no, Paul's right. I mean, we've got everything. I can't put any more records on the wall. I've got a lot of money. I'm happily married. I've got my health. I've got a great daughter from a previous marriage, and I've done everything I wanted to do. I've had almost 30 years with these guys. It's been the most amazing roller coaster ride I could ever take anybody on. I mean, I did not grow up with a lot of money. I grew up in Brooklyn, so I had to really work a lot to get where I'm going. When I met Paul and Gene, we were a trio in 1972, man, and I never expected to be doing this today. I'm happy, and it's time, like Paul said. I think the worst thing is when someone's still at the party and you want them to get the hell out of there. The worst thing is to see a bunch of guys up there with big bellies and jumpsuits and, can barely make it from one stage to the other side of the stage. I think is really horrendous. We want to bow as champs. I want people to sit around and go, wow, I saw those guys when they were absolutely phenomenal, and they, that's the way it's got to be.
At the height of their powers.
We're lucky to have that. We're blessed. That's a blessing.
Gene, will KISS continue in the form of the comics and the games and all that type of thing?
Well, people shouldn't misunderstand what this is. This is a farewell tour. We don't want to stay up on stage a minute longer than it feels right. But people shouldn't think this is a short tour either. We're probably going to do 70, 80 cities in America alone, and fingers crossed 10 to 20 stadiums outside of America. But after that, we really want to hang up our platform heels and, in the nicest way, graciously and with as much dignity as we can,
considering what we look like.
From the bottom of our hearts, thank the bosses, the people who put us here in the first place, the fans, people always thought it was a soundbite from the very outset. We wouldn't be here without you thing. But, as far as we're concerned, it's always been heartfelt. We said it the first time, we say it today. Every day above ground is a good day, Peter Criss quote. And we've never, ever taken any of it for granted. We get to be kings. Now, do me a favor. I don't have a clue what you asked me 5 minutes ago. I completely forgot.
See, that's why we're calling it quits.
Right, because we forget.
Because we babble.
Oh, well,
we have to have Tommy write
will
down
it babble? Will it
where we live.
You are Gene. That one over there is Peter.
Gene sitting to your left.
We couldn't stop KISS if we wanted to, so it will continue in other ways. The KISS Psycho Circus comic book is up to issue number 25. There's talk of movies and other things. It will continue.
Circus, title track of that album by KISS on Rockline, and I have some concert dates coming up for you. They will be in Las Vegas, where we're located, playing Friday the 17th of this month, in the Arrowhead Pond in Anaheim on the 18th, San Diego Sports Arena the 19th, and Centennial Garden in Bakersfield the 21st, followed by a date in Oakland on the 23rd at the Oakland Arena. And you can get more information at kissonline.com. Back with KISS and your calls in just a moment on Rockline. Once again, welcome back to Rockline. I'm Bob Coburn. It's an evening with KISS, and we'd like to take a moment to give a mighty welcome to 101.77, The Bone, San Francisco's classic rock that really rocks. Welcome to the Rockline family. What an appropriate evening to welcome The Bone to the Rockline family. Let's hit the phones here. We have a call from the Dayton, Ohio area. Brent, welcome to Rockline.
Hey, how you doing, Peter, Paul, and Gene?
How you doing?
I'm doing great. I just want to tell you, thanks for 27 of the best 24 years of my life, actually. I'm really going to miss you guys once you hang it up. I have two questions for you. One, how does it feel to know that it's finally ending as far as a touring, as a band, as an entity? And the second question is, I need some vacation time in. Where is the final show going to be, and when will tickets go on sale? I need to know this.
Those are great questions. The truth is, we're not sure where the tour ends, because as much as we're trying to keep it to 70 shows, 80 shows, 90 shows, we keep extending it because the response has been so phenomenal. And being that this is the farewell tour, we really want to make sure that every fan that wants to see us gets a chance to see us. So we're really not sure where the last show will be. And as far as how does it feel, for some people, maybe this would be a very sad time, but for us, we've got so much to celebrate and so much to be thankful for. We've said it so many times. It's really you and all the other fans that have made this amazing life possible for us and have made the band what it is. So this tour is really a celebration not only of what we accomplished, but what you helped us to accomplish. So we feel great. We're excited to be out there, and it's really a time of celebration, nothing but that.
A 24-year-old who's been a fan for 27 years. I like that. That's very good. Way to go, Brent. Let's move to Los Angeles to talk with Tom. Tom, you're on Rockline with KISS.
All right. Hey, guys. How's it going?
Hey, how you doing, Tommy?
Great. This is awesome. Hey, my question's for Paul. About 25 years ago, I read an interview where you had stated that your favorite guitar was the 61 Firebird you had played on Alive 1, which was subsequently broken, I guess, during the recording of Destroyer. I was wondering if that guitar has been replaced emotionally by another one in your collection, or maybe one of the others you've endorsed since that time, or is it still your all-time favorite?
Well, not to be callous, but somebody once said to me, the best thing to help you forget one woman is another. And, you know, guitars are not of that, you know, importance to me. So once that guitar was gone, another one came along that sparkled and sounded real good. And, you know, life's about moving ahead and not being held down by the things that, you know, especially by possessions. I mean, that's just not what it's about. Any guitar will sound great, and you know, if you're playing it with your heart and soul.
Be honest, do you really remember that guitar?
Yes, I do.
You do? Okay.
It's actually, it's on the cover of...
Peter has it.
I have it. It's on the cover of Kiss Alive. And it's a funny story because my dad was in the furniture business, and the guitar was a brown sunburst guitar, and everything we were doing was black. We were all wearing black. So I literally had my dad take it to work and had the furniture department spray it black. And, you know, it was a great guitar, but, you know, things come and go in life.
And we have Gene and Paul and Peter from the band with us this evening. Our number's toll-free, 1-800-344-ROCK. Welcome, San Francisco. The Bone is here. And we have on the line with us right now. And this is a gentleman named Kenny. Hey, Kenny, how are you?
Okay.
You're on the air. What you got?
Yeah, my question is I think it's for Gene. I wanted to find out when the box set's coming out with Paul doing God of Thunder.
Well, Paul did do the God of Thunder in a demo that we have, but there's no talk of a box set right now, but I'm sure it'll appear at some distant point in the future. But, you know, right now we're just so busy being on tour. Any other thing is really the farthest thing from our minds. But you got to come out there. If there are any tickets available, we're having a ball, and everything's happening, including people giving birth at the concerts. A lot of fun.
Unbelievable. What a start to get out of.
I myself gave birth.
That's amazing, isn't it? Yeah, that's worth the price of admission
right, Paul? In my hot pants.
And Kenny just crossed the Bay Bridge there and go to Oakland. They're there the 23rd, as I mentioned. The 25th, they're in Reno, Nevada. Salt Lake City on the 27th, the 28th at the Pepsi Center in Denver, Colorado. The United Spirit Arena in Lubbock, Texas on the 29th. And then, let's see, we have a date Friday, I can't read this. Looks like the 31st at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio. We have Thunder Bay calling right now, and it's Pauline. Hey, Pauline.
Hi, guys.
Thunder Bay, hey.
Yeah, I'm from Thunder Bay. Actually, they said that I just had to go quickly, but I just wanted to thank you guys. I have a son who's 19 right now. He's gone to a concert tonight, but he's a great fan of yours. I brought him to see you guys when he turned 18 in Toronto, when you played in Toronto in December of 98. And Paul, we went to
Sky Dome. You mean the stadium there?
No, in Toronto, at the Sky Dome, yeah.
At the Sky Dome, yeah.
Yeah, and then, Paul, we saw you as the Phantom, and you were great, and then you came backstage afterward, not backstage, but outside, and I got to take some pictures of you and Ryan, and I sent you a book and a thank you card, so I don't know if you got that or not, but anyways, I wanted to thank you guys for bringing a lot of joy to my son's life. He thinks you guys are great. He loves you guys.
And your question is tonight, Pauline?
Pardon me?
Your question is?
My question is, why wasn't Nothing Can Keep Me From You from Detroit Rock City soundtrack released as a video?
That's a very good question. You know, certain things are always out of our control. We do our best to do our part and make sure, you know, that everything is done up to the quality we want it to be. But unfortunately, sometimes there's other people involved, and we can't be responsible for other people's lack of judgment, ineptitude, or whatever. But in any case, we're glad you like the song a lot. We're real fond of it.
And Pauline, thanks for being part of the program tonight. We have to take a brief time out. We'll return with Kiss in just a moment. Toll free, 1-800-344-ROCK. It's Rockline. And welcome back to Rockline Live from Las Vegas with Kiss. Next week, it's a special encore edition of Rockline with Aerosmith. Right now, I'm going to play some rock and roll for you. This is Cold Gin on Rockline. And Paul and Peter from the band, and we head to Seattle to speak with Dave. Dave, you're on Rockline. Hi, Dave.
Yeah, is it true you guys just filmed the Pepsi commercial? And if so, when can we expect that to air?
Good question. We just did a Pepsi commercial We shot it in, where did we shoot it?
Phoenix,
Arizona.
That's right.
And
it's going to be seen on the Academy Awards the 24th of this month.
The premiere.
About 8:30 at night. Thank you very much. This has been a public announcement from
that would be the debut.
Debut on the Academy Awards.
What a great place to debut.
Yeah.
In Academy Awards.
But of course, we are Kiss.
We are Kiss.
We are Kiss. What you are talking about?
We are Kiss, and we love Pepsi.
We had such a great time actually. We had such a great time actually doing it because, you know, the little girl that shows up. God, what's her name? You got to help me.
I don't know.
Is it Allie? Is that her name?
It's Hallie.
Hallie
Eisenberg.
Hallie. There we go. Wow, very
Hallie,
good.
that's it. And Hallie did a series of commercials. She walks into kind of a mafia bar. I know there's no such thing, but in a bar, in a mythical place, like in Brooklyn, with a mythical mob kind of guy, and orders a Pepsi, and she gets a Coke, so she gets very upset. Our version is going to be a lot more fun. We get to be Kiss, and she gets to. Well, you got to tune in and watch it. Very, very funny.
She get to play with the band?
As a matter of fact, yes.
Yeah?
And she had a miniature Kiss outfit with
cool.
platform heels and very, very cool.
It's fun. And we got, we recorded a Pepsi spot, which is, 20 years ago, if somebody ever said that we'd be in a studio singing about Pepsi, we'd say you're out of your mind. But, some people are like hams. We're the whole pig. We want to do anything possible to get on television.
Incidentally, for anybody that's interested, we're very proud of doing, anything like that. We don't have a problem with that, and it's never been, ironically enough, about money, because if it was just about that, we would have said yes to alcohol and cigarettes many, many times and been offered a lot. But, we're not interested in that stuff. And Pepsi's fine. We don't have any problem with it.
Well, the cold gin tasted pretty good to me a minute ago, too.
That was it.
That wasn't bad.
Yeah. And as a matter of fact, that was one of the things we talked about for a long time. Ace wrote that. And, there was a lot of talk. That was, as a matter of fact, yes. It was a lot of talk within the band of whether or not we should do it or not. And we sort of drew the line at the idea, once you get up on stage, here's a story of a lovely lady.
Yeah, there we go. Well, obviously, at this point in your careers, it's not about the money, but with the mentions tonight, you should ask for more. That's a
I think there's a whole thing about rock and roll in general where the real the bull factor is way up. The idea that you're famous and it's lonely at the top, or that people don't like money, it's all nonsense. We've always been about the truth. We mean what we say, and we say what we mean. And I'd like to announce that I'm running for president.
Did you ever see the way Gene signs his name with the dollar?
Yeah. Make no bones about it, because we're on the bone. Simple ideas. We love the good life. Don't believe anybody who doesn't come up and say they love beautiful women, lots of money, and the good life.
But there's a lot of truth to that. We get paid really well for what we do. We're very well off. We're real rich, but we work real hard, and we make sure that we give people their money's worth. There's nothing wrong with being paid well, as long as you're doing a job and you're getting paid what you're worth. So,
well, see, that's why people keep coming back, and that's why this tour is so great, because you can walk away and leave them wanting more.
When you come to see a Kiss show,
they have.
You don't have to worry about, are you going to get your money's worth? People work so hard for their money that if you're going to part with it, if you're going to come to a Kiss show, you're going to be entertained. So that's what this whole legend of what we do has been built around, is that we're proud to be entertainers. And when you come to see us, you see us.
And you'll be entertained. Dave, thanks for the call. We head to Terre Haute to talk with Chris. Welcome to Rockline, Chris.
Yes. I want to ask Kiss if they ever get on eBay and check out what Kiss stuff is on sale.
Have you ever logged on there?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
It's amazing what goes on the Internet. But, if you really want to know what's going on with Kiss, you got to log on to kissonline.com, because that's our official website. And if you want to keep up on everything that's going on with the band, and also the coolest merchandise, and also where we're playing, that's really the place to go. But eBay is very cool, because there's always somebody, auctioning something off that's cool. And nobody has memorabilia like Kiss does. I mean, anything having to do with the band commands huge prices.
The other thing that people should know is that even though this is the farewell tour, and we're really not playing the game that a lot of other bands play, which is, it's the farewell tour, wink, we're coming back next year. I promise you, we're not, okay? This is the last tour. On the other hand, this is not the end of Kiss. We mentioned it before, that Kiss will continue in other forms, and we want to be in touch with you out there, the people who put us here in the first place. We're very, very interested in keeping in touch with you, and if you want to reach us, come to us at kissonline.com.
That's where you can buy the merchandise that will be on eBay tomorrow. Any idea what? Any idea what the biggest price for anything sold on eBay has been for Kiss?
There was I think there was a set of outfits that went for $200,000.
Was it
200 grand?
Body?
Yeah.
One set.
That would be in the pricey category, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
you have to
a major
save a
box
lot
set.
of milk money for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But it's amazing because anything you buy of Kiss, no matter how much it costs you, it's one of those investments that's a surefire thing because next year it's always worth more.
There you go. Let's take another call from Oklahoma City. We're going to welcome Beth. Hi, Beth.
Hello.
Inappropriate Beth for Kiss.
But I can't come home right now.
Yeah, baby, that's what I'm talking about.
Uh-huh. Hello, my question is for Paul. Paul, I've spoken to you before on Rockline, if you recall. This is a follow-up question. I was deaf. Remember, I couldn't hear you.
Yes, I remember.
Yes. Anyway, it was from a noisy flight on the way back. Anyway, my question is, you could probably better answer this question now. Now that you have been on the road with Kiss for a few shows, how do you notice a difference in your voice? Is it holding up pretty well?
Yeah, my voice is it's holding up great. I mean, I'm amazed because most people with years going by of doing what I do have a tendency to lose range, and every time I open my mouth, glass breaks. It's pretty cool. I'm singing better now than before, so I'm real happy to be out there because I want to make sure that this tour is the ultimate Kiss show, and we've never been better.
Like Woman by Kiss. Peter Criss with the vocal on that song during your Rod Stewart phase, I believe there, Peter. Is that correct?
Yes, it was. Actually, Paul wrote that song for Rod Stewart. I remember we were doing, was it Love Gun? Was that the album?
Rock and Roll Over.
Rock and Roll Over with Eddie Kramer. And I said, you can't give it to Rod Stewart. I got a raspier voice, so let me try it.
So let me have it.
By the time we got done doing it, I had no voice because it was all night long. I had to sing it over and over and over. But I loved it, and Garth Brooks, I heard redid it, or he did do it. He did redo it.
Yeah,
so.
and did it justice as well.
Yeah,
He's
and
a
when
huge fan of yours.
Yeah, I met him, and he said he didn't want to change it. He really liked the way I sang it. He wanted to leave it alone. So I took that as a major compliment.
We backed him up.
Backed him up. There you go.
We were Garth's backing band on that track. That was a lot of fun.
Kiss is a backup band. Unbelievable. To Tulsa, Oklahoma. Jay, welcome to Rockline with Kiss.
Hey, guys. Thanks for coming back to Oklahoma City. My question is, have you guys seen the new Kiss wrestler, and what do you think of him?
Well, the Demon is a work in progress. Got to say that we're responsible for it. Actually, about 6 months back, I had the idea of getting wrestling and Kiss have some things in common after all. Big guys
Their
running
mentality.
around on stage. We're actually big fans of anything that entertains people. And so initially there was a conversation I had with Vince McMahon when we played the Super Bowl, when we were down in New Orleans, and he was a big supporter and loved Kiss, and we just couldn't come to a deal point. So then we called up WCW, and they were willing to do anything. So Dale is actually the new Demon. I've been to hell and back. I'm the Demon. That's the basic idea of the guy. But eventually he's going to win. Eventually he'll be...
Somebody will pay.
Eventually he's going to be the world champion.
Fix it. There's nothing Gene hates more than seeing somebody in his makeup on the mat saying, stop, stop.
Especially in his hot pants.
Especially in my hot pants. So anyway, the Demon is cool. Catch him when you can. And, like anything else, it's a learning progress. Eventually...
For him, too.
I'm told by WCW that
they're going to let him win.
That he's
the money's under the table.
Don't listen to these guys. Oh, my God. Eventually, he's going to wind up being the champion.
He's going to wrestle the Pepsi girl.
Oh, man.
Okay, I plead the fifth. I'm out of here.
Jay, thanks. Let's move on to Savannah, Georgia. Marcus, it's your turn.
Oh, man. All right. Hey, Kiss, how y'all doing?
Good, man.
All right. I'd like to find out how y'all like performing at the Super Bowl last year.
It was awesome. To be at an event like that and know that it's going around the world and that 500 million people are going to see it is pretty amazing. It just shows you the power of rock and roll, that a band that's been around as long as us can get on a show like that and basically pound their way into the homes of unsuspecting sports fans around the world.
500 girls in Kiss makeup jumping up and down, just what we like.
I was going to say, it must be heaven for you guys, you know? And what a great shot. I mean, let's face it, it's America's
it's
unofficial
amazing.
national holiday.
It's so cool. It's cool. We have a great life.
Yeah, you do. You know, and the cool thing to me is that you appreciate it.
Yes.
You know, it's
Amen.
never taken for granted. You're
Anybody
jaded
who's
by
out
it at all.
there, you know, who's become famous and says that life at the top is tough or that, you know, being successful stinks. People out there, stop buying their albums, stop buying their CDs, and get them back to the restaurant where they used to be dishwashers so they can go have the job that they really like more. And then on top of it,
Yeah, you can trust me on that one.
I mean, we kid around about this stuff, but honestly, we're just here to make sure that you know that everybody else that complains about it is full of it.
Life is great.
The good life is the good life, and anybody who doesn't appreciate it shouldn't have it.
it's such disrespect to the people who make this life possible to complain about what it's like at the top. We have a great life, and we owe it all to the fans, and we're on tour to give them the biggest thank you we possibly can.
You know, there's a band that did a double album about how tough it was and how they didn't like it, and it was even a movie, and that was my feeling. And halfway through I thought, why didn't you just walk away then?
Well, why did you spend all that time becoming famous if you were going to hate it?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And you can still walk away. That's the thing. You can still walk away. It's Rockline, an evening with Kiss. Your number's toll-free, 1-800-344-ROCK. Time for Rockline Remembers for the answer. Ozzy bit the head off a bat. We lost John Belushi, and New World Man was a hit by Rush. Was it 1980, 1981, or 1982? Any guess in the room here?
82.
82. Congratulations. Well spotted there. What were you guys doing in 82?
What were we doing? We were doing Creatures of the Night. We did the last album with makeup on, did a tour, then took off the makeup and proceeded forward.
In 1982, we played to the biggest audiences we'd ever played at stadiums up and down South America. The biggest one was in Rio, to anywhere from 175 to 200,000 people in one show. One local opening band, no festival, no nothing. Life's been good. See, we told you.
Yeah, there you go. Those soccer stadiums down there are unbelievable.
They're mind-boggling because, you know, we're used to football-type stadiums here, and we think they're enormous if they're 85,000. That's a small stadium in South America. Like Gene was saying, the biggest stadium in the world is called Maracanã, and that's arguably about 200,000 people, and we packed it with a local opening act.
So that's amazing, and what a great memory for you to have.
Yeah, so those were the last shows in makeup. So, you know, when we took the makeup off, we really had some great memories of the last days of it.
Now, was that a relief to take the makeup off for a while?
It was time to take it off.
For some of us. I think we acted differently. Paul, I think, was much more comfortable with it. It felt devastating because when you create something that is so pure, you know, people always thought it was always sort of very calculated. It wasn't. The God's honest truth is that we got together in a roach-infested loft on 10 East 23rd Street, and something happened. We instinctively knew. No one person went around and said, okay, you be the cat man, you be the space god. No, it wasn't like that at all. There were just these mirrors that were bought, that warped from Woolworth's downstairs for $15. I remember it as clear as it was yesterday, and we, you know, mysteriously started we'd rehearse, and afterwards, hey, let's put makeup on our faces. We just knew. So when it became so big so fast, within a year and a half, we were playing Anaheim Stadium with all these bands that had been around 10, 20 years opening up for us.
Without much radio play or anything, too.
No radio play, nothing. No press, nobody cared. We just did it, you know, the old-fashioned way, which is you go from town to town, knock from door to door and say, this is who we are.
We built up the following basically by going to all the places other big bands wouldn't go. Right. We went to Middle America. Most rock bands at that point were playing major cities. Our belief was always, you don't choose where you're born, and you have as much right to hear rock and roll music as anybody. So we really went, as Gene's saying, door to door, and built this enormous following. But when we took the makeup off, it really felt, once the original lineup wasn't there anymore, it began to feel calculated because instead of the original guys who came up with the idea, it was going to reach a point where, okay, if we get another guitar player, what is this, Giraffe Boy or Snake Child? You know, it's like, what are we going to call this guy? So we really felt that if we were a good band, we could take off the makeup and continue. And it was amazing because the first album that we put out without makeup, I think quadrupled our sales. Lick It Up went just huge album. So, live by the sword, die by the sword. We figured if all we were was a band with makeup, then we didn't deserve to continue.
Well, a lot more than that. We're going to play some rock and roll by Kiss. This is Deuce for you on Rockline. Rockline for you there. Kiss in concert on the 1st of April at the Woodlands in Houston, Texas, the Starplex Amphitheater in Dallas, and we head to the Metroplex in the Dallas area to speak with Robin. Hey, Robin.
Hi. Hi, guys.
Hey.
Hi, Robin.
I just wanted to say that since I was 3, I've been a loyal fan. Anyway, I was wanting to know, since y'all did Kiss meets Phantom of the Park and Detroit Rock City, have y'all ever considered doing an animated movie?
There's always talk about it. Every year there's a discussion with various entities. We've been talking for 8 years now with a guy named Chaim Saban, who's, the Fox guy. Sorry, my tongue's too big. Sooner than later, it'll happen, but not before it's right. We're not just about the content, we're also about structure. So just the idea of doing a cartoon show, if that was what it was about, we would have done it a long time ago. At the end of the day, it's got to feel right and have the right content, too. So it'll happen.
Now, beyond animation, don't you have a couple of movie projects coming up, something for CBS that you're producing? And
there's some Kiss-related stuff. We'll talk about that. The outside stuff we all want to do is another thing. There's going to be a CBS movie called Rock and Roll All Night, which, believe it or not, is a kind of a Sleepless in Seattle meets Kiss story about a couple who meet at a Kiss concert and then are torn apart as the audience leaves, and they lose sight of each other for years, for like 10, 15 years, and then, as most people do in their lives, they wind up settling for a boyfriend, for a job. They don't really go for their dreams. And through all this time, they wind up basically dreaming. I wish, I woulda, coulda, shoulda, and wish they had the person that they dreamed about. So the whole story is kind of a magic, whatever happened to my dream person story. And that'll start shooting actually by the summer. And there are lots of other Kiss-related projects.
Okay, there you go. Thank you, Robin, very much. We'll move to Providence, Rhode Island to talk with Jim. Hey, Jim.
Hey. How you doing?
Hey. Jim, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I just want to say that I've been a loyal fan of Kiss for 23 years, and my question is for Peter. I'd like to know what it was like to meet your idol, Gene Krupa, and is there ever a chance that I might meet you and take lessons from you someday?
Well, Gene Krupa was definitely the greatest drummer I've ever met or heard in my whole life. Now, if you get to meet me, that'll be great, but I don't give lessons.
Not till the tour's over.
Which is probably true from the money I get with these guys.
Oh, man. All right. Now we're getting down to it.
So you better take... So, yes, Peter can be available.
Yes, I can give lessons after the tour. I'll probably have to. I'm not kidding. I mean, after the management.
Gene, Paul, you guys, who were your idols growing up? Out of curiosity. Who'd you like?
Well, look, this comes from a guy who's delusional, so...
You grew up with Moses, right?
You fit right in. Moses.
During the Civil War era.
Yeah, who was there when dinosaurs roamed the earth? Gene Simmons of Kiss.
Barney.
It was never really human beings, as hard as it is to believe.
Lassie.
I love Lassie in my hot pants. Oh, God.
You're meaning to Lassie come home, I tell you that.
I always used to cry at when I came.
Gladiator movie.
That's it. I'm done.
Viking movies.
I liked Mikey. You know that guy that ate cereal? That was my year. No, I came from Israel, so when I first came into America, I had my hot pants on. Oh, God. So when I first came to America, I couldn't speak the language, and so I'd watch movies, and the horror movies especially appealed to me.
Movies.
And I always used to cry.
Chuck Heston.
When I saw Chuck Heston in a loincloth. I don't know. No, when King Kong dies at the end and Frankenstein, I always sort of felt alone. That's strange. I always cried for when they killed a monster at the end. So those were really sort of my icons.
Like the demon in wrestling.
Yeah, so I cry every time he loses.
See it bumped off at the end there, yeah. Paul, what about you?
Dude has to write another check.
What?
I didn't really have any
No, he
heroes
writes us. He writes us checks. You don't know me very well. Oh no.
I'm interested in hearing what they have to say.
A lot more fun than your answer, apparently. Yeah.
I bet nobody knows we're all sitting here nude.
You know, it was a surprise to me, actually.
It's warm
until I
out.
looked at the tablecloth.
It's very comfortable weather. We're in Las Vegas.
Yeah. It's kind of like when you see the TV anchor guy. He's got the coat on, and then he's got shorts on underneath. Yeah. Detroit Rock City Kiss for you on Rockline on the AM/FM network. I'm Bob Coburn. Kiss in concert the 4th of April in Oklahoma City. Little Rock on the 5th, and Pensacola on the 6th, and into the Mars Music Amphitheater. You got to love a name like that. That's West Palm Beach on the 8th. Tico Arena in Fort Myers the 9th. Orlando the 11th. The Ice Palace in Tampa on the 12th. We take a call from Houston. Now it's Kevin. You're on Rockline with Kiss. Do it.
Hey, Gene. What's going on?
Hi, how are you?
Good. I just got one question. I know there's probably many rumors that go around about Kiss and Gene in his hot pants, but
getting a lot of mileage out of hot pants tonight, aren't we? Yeah, baby.
Would you like to see him in those hot pants?
I was wondering what was actually the craziest rumor that's ever been brought up about the band in general.
Probably the two that are most often heard are the Satan kind of Kiss nights in Satan service, and that my tongue was grafted on from a cow or something. Yeah, those are probably the two big ones.
Where does this stuff come from? You got to wonder, you know?
In the southern states of the United States, that's where it comes from. I don't mean that as a swipe. I mean, geographically, that's where it comes from.
And by the way, Kiss will be in concert in Birmingham, Alabama on the 14th of April.
I mean, that's where it comes from. I never saw a guy marching down the street of New York City with a big cross on his back, but we played nothing to do with
it. Hold on, I'm going to clear this up because Gene likes to fan the fires a lot. None of this has anything to do with geographic areas. It has to do with small segments of the population who are usually based in...
Which states?
Really religious, kind of like off-kilter, religious
Queens
sects.
All right, geographically speaking, it's below the Bible Belt, which is a geographic location.
But it has nothing to do with the people in those good cities.
No, you're going to get killed. I'm a good guy. You told me to say this.
No, I did not.
This is coming from a man in hot pants.
I'll tell you a sad day in rock and roll, okay?
What's that?
When they let me on stage.
I'll tell you a sad day in rock and roll is we went to play Tupelo, which was fantastic. Everybody in the audience went out of their minds, okay? It was a real great rock and roll show. People aren't aware that along the way there was a major fight with the local governmental structure there, the birthplace of Elvis Presley, okay? Still to this day has a problem with rock and roll, still believes that it's satanic or this or that and all this stuff. Major. It was the show was sold out the first day, canceled on the second day. We had to go back in and fight for it. And it was like lunacy.
In the birthplace of Elvis, Tupelo, Mississippi.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if this poor guy coming up, and wanting to play this kind of music, whether or not the same thing was done to him.
Sometimes that happens. Buddy Holly got dissed in Lubbock, Texas, too. I mean, they moved his house without realizing he had lived there. And
the thing about rock and roll that bothers everybody, the reason sometimes parents are afraid of rock and roll is because they know the trouble they got into because of it.
There you go.
But just relax and give everybody a chance, and everybody will find their own way through it.
I want to remind you, everybody who gets on the air tonight gets a Kiss CD courtesy of Universal Special Projects. Your calls and more with Kiss in just a moment on Rockline. Welcome back to Rockline. It's an evening with Kiss from Las Vegas. A couple more concert dates. Atlanta, Georgia on the 15th of April, then the 16th into New Orleans, Carolina. Let's see, that's Carolina Coliseum in Columbia, South Carolina on the 18th. Charlotte on the 20th, and into Greensville, South Carolina on the 21st and 22nd, Greensboro Coliseum. Phone call time, Erie, Pennsylvania, and we have Tony. Hi, Tony. Welcome.
How you doing, guys?
Hi, Tony.
Right. Hey, Tony.
It must be very eerie in Erie, Pennsylvania.
Step it up, Tony. You're on the air, man.
How you doing, guys?
Tony.
They're okay.
I'm saying hi from me and my girlfriend.
Well, that's great.
Hi.
And what's your question? Tony, what's your question,
my question is, do you think any of your children will go into music, and what advice would you give them?
Well,
I have a daughter, and she's definitely not going into music. That's the only advice I got for me, anyway.
And that's the end of that. Thanks.
We like to breathe.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying. Everybody may not understand what you're saying, but I hear you loud and clear there. We'll move to Rochester, New York. Michelle, you're on with KISS.
Hi, guys. How you doing?
Hi, Michelle.
Hey.
Hey, I have a quick question for you. First of all, I just want to say thank you for all your hard work. You've brought so many fun times to me in my life. And second of all, my question is, how do you describe the band's chemistry and relationship now versus the 70s?
Well, we hate each other.
a lot more.
That was universal and immediate.
Oh, God.
No thinking about that one at all. Just
Wow.
right into it. Yeah.
That's good, huh? We just hate each other a lot more these days than we used to. And that works a lot better.
We're kidding.
We're kidding.
We don't like each other, but we can't remember why.
It's been
Paul
so
always
long
says
now, right?
we can't leave till we're done playing.
No, you know, I think one thing that happens with time is you learn to accept, each other's
dysfunction.
Idiosyncrasies.
Yeah, idiosyncrasies.
Right.
And, I think you have certain lines that you won't go past, and you also won't tolerate certain things. But other than that, I think we get along like family. It doesn't mean we always want to see each other, but we have a good time when we're together, and we get out before we start punching each other.
And I always wear my hot pants.
To lighten things up.
You know what's sad? Most people probably don't know what hot pants are.
Right.
Yeah, from an era.
Do people know what hot pants are?
No. I would think. Yeah.
Yours look nice.
Yeah. I mean, everything recycles. If it was popular then, it's going to be popular.
Nothing
now.
recycles from Gene. You can't.
I know. I wear something until it falls off me.
It can't.
And also, I don't buy anything. Everything here was bought for me. Paul bought me these shoes.
No.
Paul bought me a truck,
So everything's
a garbage
gift,
truck.
So I can have a job after the tour.
We're all working.
Oh, he bought me a great truck, a Navigator.
Garbage truck.
I call you Tony Soprano.
bought me a car.
Waste disposal business here. Yeah. Well, we haven't.
I wish I had a waste disposal business, then I wouldn't have a waste.
But if I only had my drum kit with me. Time to rock and roll all night with KISS and Rockline.
Question is, I just wanted to know what your individual music plans are for after the farewell tour.
I'm going to give drum lessons.
Drum lessons.
I'm giving drum lessons after the tour.
We used to see a wacko guy on the streets of New York who used to, the guy was clean. There was nothing on his head, so he used to put shoe polish on his head. We used the same brand,
Right.
And, and this guy would stand on a street corner and make believe he was drumming and giving like a master class. This is for Betty Cooper. He talked just like this, and Peter would laugh because, he'd have these sideburns and he'd have these like Dracula. What are these? What is that part, Peter, called? What is that thing? No, this is a. And in the middle, he'd have like a widow's peak. This is a paradiddle, 1943, Gene Krupa. Everybody's going, what's he talking about? Anyway, that's what Peter's going to be doing. I'm going to buy him some shoe polish so he can paint his head, and he'll be on the corner of 57th Street and 6th Avenue. This is Peter Criss in 1901. Oh, God. I can imagine you.
I
give you
take this.
$5.
I take this abuse because
I'll give you $5.
I know his bakery will be right around the corner. So where I'm giving drum lessons.
Great rye bread.
You come stop by my bakery.
Okay, I'll stop by your bakery.
I'll give you a hot one.
Yeah, some Napoleon, some rye bread. There we go.
We'll go to Paul's Deli.
Dressed as the Phantom of the Opera.
We'll
in
have
the
it
corner.
made. Right. And we'll go to Ace's liquor store and clean,
Oh, man. Oh, hell, ouch.
clean up the evening.
I would assume you guys are just focused on what you're doing right now.
Yeah,
so.
Which
really,
is hard.
I mean,
Thank
it's
you.
really true. If you're having a great time, it's like if you're at a great party, you're not thinking about what you're going to be doing the next day. Because if you spend too much time thinking about tomorrow, you're not enjoying what you're doing right now. So we all have ideas of what we're going to do. And boy, are we in for a surprise.
Let me wrap up the concert dates quickly. Chattanooga, Tennessee on the 24th of April, the 25th into Memphis, Tennessee, the 28th, Nashville, Louisville on the 29th, and Knoxville on the 30th. If you need more information, kissonline.com. Back with KISS on Rockline in just a moment. Once again, welcome back to Rockline with Kiss. I'm Bob Coburn, and just about time to say goodbye. We've hit the website a couple of times. One more time, though, kissonline.com. You can find out tour date information. And you got Ted Nugent and Skid Row as opening acts. Cheap Trick said they couldn't do it. Why was that?
They had some prior commitments to go home. They may yet come out with us at some point. Oh, let me get my mic up where it belongs. Right. I got to get it up. But they may be out at some point, but right now we've got this amazing night. I mean, we're so jazzed up because to come to a show and have 3 bands that are really going to kick you in the ass is something that doesn't happen often. We really want this to be a real wild party night. And between Ted and the Skids and us, you can't ask for a whole lot more. It's a great night.
Ted Nugent, Skid Row, and Kiss in one night. That's about all I can handle in one night, I think.
You know, we've always... speaking of potato chips, prided ourselves in the opening band since the very beginning. We took out bands basically because we liked them. There was no sort of game that you had to play. Politics didn't exist. Bands that came out with us on their first tour because we liked them were AC/DC, Rush,
Jolson.
Al Jolson, he was there. Motley,
Benny Goodman,
Bon Jovi, Scorpions, Judas Priest,
Tom Petty,
Iron Maiden, almost
Tom Petty,
anybody that
Bob
did well.
Seger.
We took him out.
Mellencamp.
Seger obviously was around, and so were Mellencamp before.
But Seger got his first gold album on tour with us.
On tour with you guys, yeah. And
Seger?
sent us gold records as a thank you, for making me happen outside.
First time I saw you guys, the Camel, the British art rock band,
that's right,
for you
that's
guys.
right.
Yes,
not to be confused with Frampton's Camel.
With Frampton's Camel, which is a
band.
totally different Camel.
That's
one had
right.
one hump, the other had 2.
That's right. And then during the '96 tour, we wanted to do something really to pay back. Somebody once a long time ago gave us a chance to get up on stage, and we wanted to reciprocate. So every 2 or 3 shows, there were new, brand new bands, 311, Civ, as many new bands as possible on the '96 tour. And then we decided the best way to close everything is just to have a party. So from beginning, from the Skids all the way through Ted, all the way through us, it's going to be a good time, and all are welcome in the Church of Kiss.
There you go. Check it out at kissonline.com. Thanks to everybody for listening and calling tonight. Also want to thank Chris Fox, Susan Boland, and everybody at XPT, Tara Laringer, Rick Sohinsky, and Shiva Zamiri, Melissa Newman, everybody at Doc McGee Management, Sheila Richmond, Scott Douglas at Island Def Jam, Mercury Records, and to you, gentlemen, thanks for being here. I will not hit you with this question because I don't like to ask bands this question, but
do you like
something
men?
Do you like gladiator movies? Yeah. Something has made you incredibly popular. I don't know what it is. Maybe you guys don't know what it is, but thank you for it because we appreciate it, and you guys have done it so well.
Thank you.
Thanks for the memories, and thanks for the memories to come.
Thank you so much.
And thanks for being here tonight. I'm BC, and I'll be seeing you.
You've been listening to another fabulously entertaining and award-winning episode of Rockline. Did we mention Rockline was award-winning? Rockline is brought to you in part by Extra Sugar-Free Gum. The flavor lasts longer than ever. The superior sound of Rockline was made possible in part by Sennheiser mics. Sennheiser. Microphones, headphones, wireless products. Sennheiser. The